There we go. All right, everybody. And Christine here is with us. She is with RE/MAX on the East Coast. And I am so grateful that she has given us some of her time to run through Booj. And I'll let her take it from here.
Hi, yes. So I'm Christine. I'm from RE/MAX Regency, located in Virginia. And so I was asked to do this Booj training, and I'll be focusing on websites because I understand that that's kind of where a lot of people are asking. If you have other questions, thoughts on other things, let me know and I can absolutely talk about them. But I think for the most of this, I'll be focusing on the website portions of everything, if that's all good. And so I'm gonna share my screen.
Can you tell us what Booj is again, please?
What it stands for, or what it actually is?
What is it?
So Booj is the new RE/MAX tool. It is a CRM and your websites and kind of a deals management platform all in one that you guys can use. It's located here in Max Center. It's this tile here that says Booj platform. And it kind of CRM deals. You can actually do email campaigns, drip campaigns, newsletters, all out of the system as well. So it's kind of a multi-faceted tool that you can use. Now, what it stands for is my favorite thing. Booj stands for be original or jealous. And that's my favorite part about Booj is the name. So websites, and if you have other questions, please feel free just to shout them at me because I can't see your hands. So please feel free to shout. Websites, just to talk about it a little bit, is if you're an agent, you get your own agent website that you can use, set up however you wish. If you are a team, you get two websites. You get a team website and you get a agent as your self website. If you're a broker, you get two websites as your broker site, as the office, and an agent website. And then if you're multi-office, of course, you get a website for each office. So right now I'm on my agent website to kind of talk about how that works and how it looks. So when you go into Booj for the first time, I'm here on my dashboard. If you want to edit or change anything on your website, you'll come up here to where it says website, click on it, and it's going to give you some options. And we're going to start on the dashboard. If you've never published your website, it's going to give you kind of this link. It'll be, yourname.remax.com. And it'll say publish. Go ahead and publish it, even if you don't necessarily have a domain or you're not necessarily finished putting it out there. Go ahead and get it published. That way the Google spiders, as our office likes to call them, can start finding and start figuring out who you are and start promoting you higher up in the search bars so that people can see. And then as you make updates and have a domain, you can get that stuff all set up too. Right here in this area where it says current homepage, this will be what the homepage looks like. And if you're not sure what that is, this is kind of what I mean when I say homepage. It's what someone gets to when they set up on the first time, or when they get to their website for the first time. And you have different options that you can choose from. It's the wrong button. The change homepage, if you want to change your homepage. And it's going to give you some different options to load. And you can choose from an agent social, which is what I have, meaning that it kind of focuses a little bit more on the social pieces of RE/MAX. So like the tech parts of it. And of course you can change and navigate that however you want it. So this is what I have. They also have a luxury. So if you're more of a luxury agent, the feel of it is a little bit more of the Remax luxury. So the darker blues kind of feeling. And then, you know, Y Remax, where the bar is kind of more in the middle with Remax balloons on the background. So once you've created what you want your homepage to look like, you'll come here to where it says edit and then whatever layout you've chosen. And it's going to take you to your homepage. And there'll be some things on here that you can't really delete, such as your header, which is this portion where it has your search bar and your image. You can't delete that, but you can change the image of what it looks like. So in this case, if I click the pencil, it's going to let me change what image it is. And I actually have two images here, one about tech and one with this pretty picture. If I decided I wanted to change the picture, I can come here to the pencil and then click and pick different pictures if I wanted. So if it's fall time, I could choose this Hello Fall, and that will be the image that pops up in the background. Yes, I see a hand.
Can we put our own pictures up there? Like, you know, if we're hiking and we do potato chip rock, can we do one of our own pictures in that?
Yeah. So if you see right here, it says choose file, drag file here to upload, and you can choose your file. If you have it on your computer, you can upload whatever image you want.
I uploaded mine. I love it.
Yeah, so any image that you have, I don't know if I have any images. I have a lot of documents, but not images, that you can put in. You can just stick it right in, and that can be what you have as your background. It doesn't have to be.
Where did you go again for that? Sorry, I didn't see your cursor. Where
So to get there, I just clicked on the image. And then over here where it says drag file here to upload or choose file.
Is it covered? Oh, hold on a second. Oh, got it. Okay, I see it. Okay, thank you.
No problem. You can just choose file there and add.
Gotcha.
And there's 18 different pages of images. So if you have a specific image you like on the Remax system, more likely than not, it's here as well.
Okay.
And then anytime you do anything, you always want to make sure you save the changes at the bottom so that your changes you're making save. And it's going to prompt you as well to change them as well. And then say I wanted to focus more on the tech, I can move the tech one up or down so that when someone clicks on my site for the first time, the tech image will pop up first. Yes, I'll save that. So that's how that will look. Down here, the second area where it's bio, option number 1, all of this data pulls from your Max Center profile. So your bio, you won't be able to edit it here, but you'll edit it when you log into Max Center for the first time. You can change your bio there. Does everyone know how to do that? Because I tell people how to do that, and then I hear that sometimes they don't know. But you can change it there. If you want to add different languages you speak, your license number, stuff like that, all that is done within the Max Center profile. Now, my favorite part about the website is the saved searches block. So you have the ability to add different listings onto your website that aren't just yours, and you can pick areas that you wish. So in here, for example, I have Culpeper listings in my area, which is a big hot town right now that's in. So if I wanted to add another one, I would come here to add block, scroll down to where I see saved searches, saved search block, click on it, and it's going to ask me what I want to title it, because see, it'll kind of pop up how it looks down here. So in this case, I'll say Haymarket listings. I can sort from newest first, highest to low, low to high, bedrooms, year built, largest square foot, however you want to, set it up. So I'll say newest first. Down here at additional features, I can pick if I want them to be within a certain price range. So if I want it to be a luxury home, I could set that up. Down here, I can say that I only want ones that have photos. So if it doesn't have a photo, I don't want it on my website. Virtual tours, price reductions, or if I have specific property types. So if I don't want mobile homes to show up, I can just unclick it and now mobile homes in that area I choose won't show up. And in the status, if I don't want pendings to show up, which in my market is like half of our listings, that won't show up as well. And then listed by, if I only want my team's listings to show up, that'll be done. But if I want all listings, I can keep that and it'll populate everything in that area. And so once I figured out those additional filters I like, up here in the location, I can just start typing in this case, I'll say a city. So I'll pick Haymarket. And right here, I'll say view more button. I always recommend people say view on map, because if the listing they don't, they want, but they don't see, they can then click view on map and it's going to take them to a map page that's branded to your website so they can see more information about that. But say that I'm focusing more on a neighborhood. I can also choose a neighborhood. One big neighborhood in my area is Dominion Valley. So I can pick Dominion Valley and only Dominion Valley listings will show up on this site as well. So it can kind of mix and match what you want it to look like, and it doesn't have to restrict to your state. So Gearing, Nebraska, I can also pick those as well, and those will also pop up on my website.
What if you put Ramona in?
What?
Ramona, what if you were to just search location Ramona, Ramona? Because that's where we're at, so it would just populate. Or AM.
AM?
Yeah, ONA.
Yeah, it is.
ONA.
Yeah, does that show? Okay, there it is. Okay,
Yep.
Perfect.
So you can do that, and all of those will start to populate in. So then you can just change it. And sometimes it takes the images a second to populate in just because it's pulling all of the listings. And then you can save that, give it about 15 or so minutes, because of course it's got to pull all that data from the MLS, but about 15 or so minutes later, it'll populate on your website. And since I just created a search block, it's going to put it at the bottom of my website. And then I can just click and drag it up to wherever I want it to go. So now when someone goes to my website, they will see this listings right after my listing, right after my bio. And you can do that as many times as you want. So you can have your website just be full of different listings, based upon city, area, neighborhood, however. Or you could do it based upon office listings, or however you want to do that. Let me get rid of this block. As well as your social media. You can have social media be either Remax headquarters social media or your own personal social media if you have it. So to do that, you'll have a social media box here. You'll click on the pencil and it's going to give you different options. Really, the only ones right now that feed onto your site like this is going to be Facebook and Twitter. I believe Instagram is coming to where you can see it on your site like this, but right now it's mostly Facebook and Twitter. And if you click here where it says use Remax profile, Remax headquarters information will show up, or you can put in your URL to your Facebook and say display on feed, and then your stuff will populate here. Same thing.
Oh, no, it looks like Instagram and YouTube are coming or
Yes.
there.
They're here in the sense of right here where it says stay connected. Someone can click on it and be taken to your YouTube page. But when I mean show up like the live image block where anything you do will live populate in. So if you wanted, you can click this and it's going to always auto put in Remax headquarters information just in case you don't have one of those, but you still want to promote it. Or you can just put in your own information in here, Team Regency, click this little arrow, and it's going to now have that, you know, the office or your own personal Instagram into your website. And then always save changes and you're back in. This part, I, as the office manager, also do some recruiting. So I have this section built into it. And then down here is what is called a contact form. It's how someone sends information to reach out to you. And you can actually change this right here to say whatever best fits you. So if send me a message isn't your, you know, wording, but, you know, happy to chat is, or let's talk, however you want, you can change that information and save it. And anytime someone fills out this information, you'll receive an alert saying that you've received a lead through Booj. And then down here are call to actions. I'm going to talk a little bit more about call to actions a little bit later because these, I think, are one of the most important things that you can do on the websites. But say there's something in here that's missing. Maybe your reviews are missing. You come here to add block and you can add different, you know, parts in. Featured listings are going to be your office listings or your own personal listings. So if you don't have a listing, you can set it to, you know, feed office listings in. That'll be what you have in here. And so it says, you know, you don't have any current personal listings, but I can opt in to have team listings and I can change that by going to the website settings and do that. So down here, featured listings would populate. Say I have videos that I like to promote. I've created buyer presentation videos, neighborhood videos. There's a video gallery where you can create the title, check out, you know, check out the city. And then I just put the URL of the video in here of whatever's created. And then I can add multiple ones. And it'll kind of create it as a carousel on the site. So if someone's searching in, you can say, hey, you want to learn a little bit more about my city, go here and watch a video on it. So continue. Reviews on Zillow. If you are someone who uses Zillow for your reviews, there's a thing to note, and that is anytime there's a Zillow review, it must sit by itself with other reviews from Zillow. So you can't have a Zillow review next to a Google review or Facebook review. And that's a Zillow rule. So the way that that's handled is you have this Zillow reviews box that only populates in your Zillow reviews. And so how you connect those two is right here where it says screen name. You put whatever your screen name is. And if you don't know what that is, just go to your Zillow and it'll say right there in like the little right-hand box where it has like your phone number, your website, all that. It'll have your screen name. You just put that right in here and it'll link the two together so you'll have Zillow reviews. If you are someone though who has Google reviews, who has website reviews from an old website, you get letters from people, you can do something called a review block. So it says testimonial agent reviews. And in your reviews section of your website, you can put in those reviews. You'll have to type them, sadly, but you can put them in, and then you can put like a dash from Facebook, from Google, from wherever. Does that all make sense for your front page of your website?
Yeah.
Perfect. So now I'm going to go out of this. And when you leave out, you'll be taken to this page, which is called your pages for your website. And you can create and add as many pages as you want, depending on what you want them to look like. So what you'll do is you'll come over here to this blue button that says add page. You can either create from a template, which is website pages that Remax has created for you, like a seller's guide or a buyer's guide. Those are already built into your website. Or you can create a page from scratch. And so when you say create new page, it's going to ask you to name it, give a description, and give it a page URL slug. And so for this case, I'm going to say California. That's not how you spell California. Beaches. This out beaches on California. Y'all are gonna see quick. I don't know how to spell half the time, and it's okay. The page URL slug. This is actually really important because this is going to be how someone finds your pages if they Google. So think of your page URL slug as what someone is going to put into Google to search. So you don't want to make it super sophisticated or super real estate legalese, because you want it to be something that someone's going to search. So if someone is going to search California beaches, then that's what you want to name the slug so that someone can find it. If someone searches for a particular location, a particular neighborhood, make that the slug. And the slug is whatever comes after the .com/. That's what the slug is. So think of it as remax.com/slug. So I'll say save. It's going to save it, and it's going to take me here to create the page. The hero image is essentially this banner. So I can click here to choose an image. And I'll say I want to pick this image, for example. And then the title, it will go there. And then the description can be whatever you want it to be. And you save it. And now you've created your hero image. Then you just design it however you want it to look. So I can add a block. I can add text. That'll just be some text. Check out these listings. Live here. You know, however you want this to look, save it. The text will be there. If I want to do an imagery and text gallery, I can add multiple images. If I have some different images about maybe what different areas look like, I can do that. And then it's going to ask for, you know, a URL if I have one. If I don't, that's fine as well. Or if I want to add, again, save search blocks on this particular site, I can as well. And then I can go through the process of doing a saved listing search for the particular area. And then at the bottom, I always recommend people add a contact form so that if someone sees something they like, they can contact you. And then save it. And then once you've done that, you've basically just created a website page that'll go on your website. And it's not too difficult to do. it takes a couple times to get used to how it works. And then once you've done it, it takes me no time to create a website page. And no, I don't have tech-y background. I just like Booj and it's easy to work. So once I've done that, the next thing is you'll want to have a navigation set up so that if someone wants to go find pages on your site, they can. And navigation is basically this menu and what people will see if they search on your menus. Menu is navigation. Please, again, stop me if you have questions or some of the stuff doesn't make sense. So your available pages are all the pages you have created or Remax has given you as templates. Your active navigation is what people will see when they go onto your site and are active on it. So not all of these available pages will someone be able to find and see right off the bat. Where you have this kind of buy, sell, that's your menu options. And then the pages that go underneath of it are the active pages someone can click on. That part gets a little confusing at times, so keep that in mind. And say you want to create a menu option, you can just click create menu option and you can just title it whatever you want. You can't edit a menu item once you've created it, so make sure to watch out for spelling errors. So say I want to call this one listings. I can save that and it's going to put it here at the bottom as an active menu. And say I've created this and I want this to go above my resources. I just click and drag it up and now it'll be above my resources for someone to see listings. And I just created this California beaches. Again, all of this is alphabetical order. So I just created this about California beaches. I can just click and drag this to be under the listings. And now when someone goes on my site, they'll see listings and California. And then say I decide I don't want it to be there anymore, I can just click and drag it off. So.
And you've got a preview button there too, right?
Yeah.
Where you can preview it easily.
Yep. So if you click preview, it's going to take you to the site, the page, so that you can preview what it looks like. But I didn't add anything here, so it won't show anything there. But once you've done that, you can preview and see what the pages look like if it were to go live. So for example, this buyer's guide here, I can preview that and see what it will look like. My computer's running a little slow today, so as always.
What is the best way, like if we have YouTube videos that we've taken or things like that, where would you put those?
So are they more about buying and selling a home, or are they more dedicated to a specific neighborhood?
I'm just thinking in general, maybe about Ramona or about a specific listing, or
so if they're I would say if they're more generic ones, then I would say add them to your homepage so that people can see them. If they're more about a specific area, I would say have a page on your website dedicated to that area where someone can search for listings in that area, and then have that video in there to kind of hold them on that page a little bit longer, if that makes sense.
And I think this is something we have to do a few times, and if we have this recorded and play with it, it'll stick more.
Yeah. And of course, you're always welcome. I'm available too if you need to reach out to me later. I don't mind. I'm happy to guide again through how to do things as well. So navigations, templates, these again were kind of what I talked about earlier for you to look at. These are all the Remax created templates for you to use. The buyer's guide, the seller's guide, those are already put into your site automatically. What's up?
Are all these pages already like boilerplate set up for us to change if we want, or are they?
Yes. So for example, the seller's guide one, if I go to my website, you'll see here that the seller's guide, this is boilerplated in for you. And this is what it looks like. And you can go in. So if I go back to right here where it says seller's guide, you can click edit and it's going to take you to that page and you can change it to look however you want. So if you want to take some things out, or if you want to add some things that focus a little bit more about you as the person, you absolutely can.
So you could add your photo or add
Yes.
some interest of the area. Right?
Yes, you can add photos about yourself. If you have a buyer's guide, you could add your lender's information in, for example.
If we go on there and we do our first page and redo our first page and don't do anything else, the rest of the pages are already set up as whatever it is that you guys have already done.
Yes. So if you do absolutely nothing to your website is going to have the image, your information, social media parts, a contact you, and a take next steps. And then over here in the menu, it's going to have automatically buyer's guide, mobile app, home value estimates, seller's guide, resources. So all this stuff here, all of this is going to be boilerplated in for you. So if you just did nothing but create the site and walk away, all of this will be set up for you.
Okay.
That you don't have to worry about anything else more.
And to clarify, it's basing all of that preset basic stuff off of those initial questions they answer as far as their zip codes and all that, and then their bio and everything that's within Mac Center, right?
Yes.
Or within their profile.
Yes.
It's pulling all that over. It's not like they have to go do it again or duplicate.
No.
Okay. And then do they periodically update or change or whatever the content?
For the most part, the things like the buyer's guide, that kind of stays the same typically. So that is going to kind of be as it is. I haven't seen them update the buyer's guide or the seller's guide since Booj launched. Now that doesn't mean they won't, but it could. I think the mobile app did change slightly when the Remax information changed, but other than that, they kind of are as they are. So yeah, you can change anything about it to look however you want. So if you want to get rid of things, if you want to change, right here, if you want to change it to be your face, you absolutely can. Say you have a preferred lender that you really like. You could come in here and you could do, say like a featured full width, which is kind of like a block in the middle of the screen. That's about your lender that you've picked, and you can link them to that lender's site so that they can go ahead and get pre-approved. Let me buyer's guide, edit that, add a block. Let me do image and text. I like that one the best. So I can go into an image, pick a person, insert and say, chat with my lender. Here is my lender's info. And then down here where it says optional fields, I can go here to where it says apply text and say apply now. And then I can put in my lender's URL for where they can go in and get the pre-approval process started, and then have that saved in there. And then I can move that up. So I'll put, that's not how you do that. YouTube.com in this case, since I don't know his off the top of my head. And then I can move that up higher to say, put it under this stepped, so that define your goals, chat with my lender, and then they can get that pre-approval process started.
And what was that watch on YouTube.com? Was that a separate block or something you just, that you?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the video slideshow.
Oh, okay.
I had edited it and I hadn't put in my images or my videos, so that's why it looks a little funky, because I was testing it a couple days ago. And you can see here, it's red in draft. That means that I can only see it on my back end. The public can't see it on their end. So if you're creating something, you can turn it from this green to the red, and then it takes it away from your site. So if you're kind of making things look prettier, you can do that, and then you don't have to worry about the public seeing it, but then you don't have to worry about trying to remake it later.
Mm-hmm.
Reviews. This is the area where you have to type in your own reviews. So author, however you think your clients are most comfortable. Typically, I see that people are more comfortable with like their first initial and their last name, whatever the review may be. So putting it in, and then I always say cite your source. That way, if someone wants to go and see what that review actually said, you can go in and find it. And then whatever your rating is, obviously, if you're typing in your own reviews, I'd recommend you don't add anything less than 3 stars on your site. You can add a 4-star one, just that way people don't think that you're making up your own reviews. And you can add that in there, and the review will populate in, and then it'll populate on your site. I'll skip domain manager for a second. Your website settings. So your review settings. So this is going to be however your manual reviews are put in. It won't affect someone like Testimonial Tree or Zillow if you use that. Zillow and Testimonial Tree just pulls in the newest ones first. But in your manual reviews, you can say either if you want your newest reviews to go in first or your oldest, however you wish. Your user options, this is really agent dependent. And what user options means is how many times can a person look through listings on your site before you require them to make an account on your site. Most people tend to keep more relaxed, meaning that people don't have to make an account. They can just browse however many listings they want and then reach out to you if they wish. Or you can make it what's considered restricted and say that if an unregistered user views however many listings you choose, they must create an account on your site, meaning you get their name and their email at minimum for you then to reach out to them. But it's up to you on however you wish it to be. And then the About Me features, again, that is all found on the Mac Center profile. Your listing criterias, you can pick, you can say if you don't want certain listings on there. So if you unclick a mobile home, multifamily, rentals, whatever you wish to not show up, you can do. And then if you want to show only specific listings, so if you only want to show listings that have open houses, you can do that as well. And then down here, additional listings. If you're not necessarily a listings agent, you can go show my listings as well as listings from these sources. Team, office, and my brand. Team is if you're in a team, the team's listings are going to show in. Office is the office. My brand is actually if you're in a multi-office office, then all of the listings from those multi-offices will populate on the site. I know it says my brand and it makes you think it's RE/MAX as a whole. It's actually the multi-office ones. And then the other piece is your domain manager. Yes. Domain manager, this is how you put in there's a technical term, and all I can think is the fancy domains in for searching. So for example, if I want someone to go to my site, they can just type in my name, christinecornwell.com, and be taken to my website. There is no limit to how many domains you can have that direct people to your website. But if you want to add a domain in, you just click add domain, enter whatever your domain name is. So whatever it is, .com, and click add. You will need this information, the value destinations, to be able to have it link. So from like your GoDaddy account, your domain.com account, whatever domain platform manager you use to be able to direct it to this register. If you use a GoDaddy account, I would highly recommend that you save like a screenshot of this and then call your GoDaddy rep and have them set it up for you. Just keep in mind, you don't add your office URL in here. It's just whatever your personal ones are.
Unless anything else opens up earlier with you guys, I'd like to try to get these on.
Yes. And then one of the big things I like to highlight in the website portions, and then I'll ask questions or say whatever questions you have, is everyone's website, when you go in, on menu has this mobile app option. It's going to take you to this page. Anytime you're meeting with a buyer or seller, I recommend you sit down and you get this done immediately. The reason is if someone puts in their phone number and click text, they're going to be sent a message pretty immediately that says, evaluate your home search today by downloading Christine Cornwell or whatever, your name is, branded RE/MAX app. If they click the link, it takes them to download the RE/MAX.com app that is fully branded to you as the agent. So anything they do on the RE/MAX.com app will automatically send you alerts through Booj saying, John Smith has liked this home, or John Smith hid this property. That way you know everything that particular person is doing. So I very much recommend that you get your people to do that stuff. I will open the floor up to any questions that you all may have. Please feel free to ask me questions on stuff that might not make sense.
A lot of information. I can get in and play with it.
Yes.
Dustin, I could see you putting in your Ramona YouTube, and I know Lori and Andrea can add a lot too.
Easier said than done.
What's that?
I said easier said than done, Jan.
I think baby steps. I went in there and just little bit by a little bit, And,
Mhm.
but maybe if we have Christine's contact information, and they were really helpful at Remax too, but
Yeah, again, you're welcome to reach out to me anytime. I'm happy if you're stuck on something, I can do a screen share or like a screen capture and just send you how to do whatever you're trying to do. I always recommend to people take one bite of the elephant at a time. So focus on one section of your website that you want done a day or a week and just get that done, and don't try to do everything at once. So if there's
oh no, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, add your picture on the first page and domain if you haven't.
Mhm.
And have you guys played with it? Lori, have you played with it?
Yes, I have. I mean, I haven't gotten very far on it other than just like a different picture, but that's pretty much it.
How about you, Justin? I know you were looking at it.
I played around with it a little bit, but this is all really good information, kind of little things that we never would have seen, or at least me, I would never have seen. So I look forward to toiling with it a little more.
And me going through step by step. This looks new to me. I don't know if you changed it or I just missed all of this when I was playing with it. But and if we have a copy of this, it would be good. We could go back
Mhm.
and review it.
Yep, we recorded it. And Christine, let me read a question to you that's in the chat for you to confirm.
Okay.
Michael's wondering, how do or can you even send a client listings that you want them to look at, which I believe you can do through the personalized mobile app, right?
Yes. So if you want to send clients listings through the site, the first thing you're going to want to do is get them that branded app. Once you get the branded app, you're going to want them to create an account with you as the preferred buyer's agent through the system, which is basically what you're doing of giving them your branded app. Then you'll go to whoever that is. So let me find.
Is that the only way? A lot of people don't want to sign up for anything, yet you want to kind of convince them a little bit more by sending them, listings, obviously.
So through Remax right now, I believe that's the only way that I know of to do it through this system. I tell people to kind of have it as part of your buyer walkthrough process to say, for me to send you listings, here's going to be how we do it.
Okay.
So it's
And kind of the back end on that, Justin, too, as far as another reason to encourage them to just go ahead and sign up. And again, Christine, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe with that mobile app, you can then see the back end analytics to know what
Yes.
they're looking at on their own.
Okay.
So you can push, let's say you're like, hey, I found these 5 listings for you that I think will be great based on what we talked about. But you can also see if they've maybe been looking at a different price point or they've been looking at different parts of town. And then you can go back and say, hey, do we need to change our parameters a little bit? You have access to all that back end info.
That's if they sign up though, right?
If they sign
Yeah.
up, correct. The other thing that you can do is if they sign up and say they are on your site searching at listings and you're their preferred buyer agent, and then all of a suddenly they jump over to, say, for example, Jen's site, and they're searching in the site and they say, hey, Jen, I wanted to look at this listing tomorrow. Instead of sending that alert to her, it's going to actually send that back to you to say, hey, your buyer was searching on another Remax agent site and submitted a request to look at this property. You might want to follow up with them on it. And so to do that, you'll go into the person. So this is someone who created an account, and where it says listings, down here, you'll kind of be able to see what listings they're looking for. And then in search activity, you'll be able to see what properties they've favorited. what properties they've hidden. And if they hid a property they didn't mean to hide, you can unhide them for them. Their search history or their saved searches. And then you can actually add a saved search in for them and change it however you think best fits them and have their searches be more in that area. But that's how you would do it, is through their contacts and leads, whoever the person is, and in their search activity.
Anybody have any other questions while we've got Christine for a few more minutes? Feel free, if you're curious, even quick questions on the CRM side too. She can answer those as well.
What, Christine, what do you like on the CRM? What do you use it? What do you find the most beneficial that you recommend?
I use the system, as you can tell from my messy screen. I use it all the time. I use it especially if I want to send emails out to my prospects or to my active clients, especially in the newsletter, because Remax gives you a brand new newsletter every single month as a constant touch point with people. So I use the CRM daily. I use the campaigns manager basically monthly. And then they also have birthday emails set up where I can have someone's birthday in the system, and then it can send them annual birthday or property anniversary or wedding anniversary or whatever. And it's just done and I don't have to think about it anymore. So I do like that automation part of it, just a one and done, and then I'll have to think about it.
And you can create your own tasks for it to remind you about as well, right?
Yeah. You can create your own tasks. Yep. Or you can have the Remax pre-created tasks in there for you as well. So you get some options.
Well, super helpful, all of it.
Yeah.
Any other questions, guys, before we wrap it up?
How do you handle, for example, husband and wife who have different emails? So to handle that one, in Booj, the way that the system works is it's a little different than, for example, Buffini, where Buffini, you have one contact who could start out as the husband, and then you add the spouse as an additional. Instead, the way Booj works is you as a husband as a contact and the wife as a contact. So for this example, I have Chuck and Helen, who are a married couple in the system as two separate. Then what you'll do is you'll click on whoever you want to pick. You'll come here to where it says household, and you'll want to link the households together. So in here, you'll say add a member, and you can search in through all of your contacts, whoever else you want to add. So I've already added Helen Cornwell, and her information will be in there. And I'll say add. And now Helen is added as a household member to this person. Then what I can do is down here where it says edit, I can have include as household and mailing label exports. So if I'm sending a mailer out, I can say yes, so they'll only receive one mailer. So I'll say Mr. and Miss Cornwell. And then enter their address if I've put their address in. And then I just click add, and it'll create that mailing label in there for you for the husband and wife. And if you want to send out emails, then it'll kind of be the same way where you'll just click before you do send out emails. You'll say have household, only send out to one email, and you'll pick which email you want to send it to. But it's different than Buffini because you have households instead of husband and then spouse, or wife then spouse.
Any other questions? There we go. Can you send an email to each individually?
Yes, you can. You still can send an email out to each individually. Even if you put them in a household, it'll still send them to each individually unless you prompt it to do otherwise.
Good questions, Michael. Thank you. Any others?
No, thank you
No?
so much. Hugely helpful.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you to Christine. This was super helpful for me as well. Loved your time, loved everything we covered. And like I said to everybody at the beginning, we did record this. So I can send it out to you. Way you guys can go back and look through it again, or share with anybody else in your office that might not have been able to join us today. Okay. Cool, everybody. Hope you all have a great night. Thanks so much.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks again, Christine.
Bye.
Bye-bye.